If you've been sending your resume to dozens of jobs and hearing nothing but silence, I want you to stop for a second, because the problem isn't you, and honestly, it's probably not even your experience. The problem is that you're playing a game that's been rigged by the very tools meant to help us. Let's look at the reality. Right now, applications are up 31%, but actual hiring, that's only up 1%. It's a massive bottleneck, and here's the part that most people don't realize. 19% of hiring managers are now using AI to automatically disqualify candidates before a human even blinks. If your resume looks like a standard AI-generated template, 62% of managers will reject it instantly because they're looking for a human signal in a sea of noise. In this market, being good isn't just invisible, it's disqualified. The average recruiter spends exactly 7.4 seconds on your document before deciding to keep it or toss it. 7.4 seconds. That's barely enough time to read your name and your last job title. Let that number sit for a second. You're spending weeks perfecting a document that 75% of the time gets deleted by an algorithm before a human ever sees it. Only about 2 to 3% of cold applications ever turn into an interview. So if the traditional resume is effectively invisible, what are the candidates who are beating those odds doing differently? Here's where it gets really interesting. I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen the shift happen in real time. We're moving away from credentialism, where your degree or your company name mattered most, toward demonstrated competence. I want you to stop trying to prove you're a better worker. Instead, start proving you're a better architect. See, business leaders today have a massive problem. 96% of them have increased their productivity expectations because of AI. They don't just want someone who can do the task. They want someone who can orchestrate the system. In fact, 66% of leaders say they won't even hire someone who lacks AI skills. They aren't looking for a worker, they're looking for a workflow architect. When I first saw this recruiter data, it changed how I think about the whole thing. 80% of hiring managers now prioritize AI orchestration over traditional technical certifications. They want to see the machine you built, not just the list of tasks you finished. Now, there's something most people miss here. You don't need a 5-page CV to show this. You need one page that visualizes your process. But how do you actually visualize orchestration on a single sheet of paper without looking like a cluttered mess? Let me walk you through what this actually looks like. A traditional resume says you were there. It makes you a witness. A portfolio says you delivered. It makes you a worker. I want to show you a before and after. Here's what a weak bullet looks like. Responsible for managing team projects. It's generic, it's forgettable. Now, here's how a workflow architect writes that same bullet. Led 4 cross-functional projects, reducing delivery time by 30% and saving the company $200,000 annually by automating the reporting pipeline. Do you hear the difference? One is a job description, the other is a return on investment. Look at Sarah, a marketing manager I mentored. She replaced her 2-page CV with a 1-page interactive dashboard. It showed her 300% ROI on ad spend using a specific AI-driven audience targeting system she built. She got a $45,000 salary increase and was hired in 2 weeks. Or take David, a junior developer. He ignored the experience section almost entirely and featured a built-in public log of a specific API he created. He landed a senior-level role at a Tier 1 firm without a CS degree. This isn't just about being techie, it's about the premium. Roles that show AI proficiency in sales and marketing are seeing a 47% salary premium. Don't just tell me you're in sales. Show me the agent fleet you managed that allowed you to handle a 10x larger pipeline. This is the part that changes everything. When you show how you solve the problem, you move from being an applicant to being the obvious solution. Now I know what you're thinking. This is easy if you have a decade of data, but what if I'm switching careers? What if I don't have a senior title? Here's the part most people get backwards. Recruiters are actually desperate right now. 75% of them report a critical AI talent gap. They have plenty of people who can use ChatGPT to write an email, but almost nobody who knows how to build a repeatable workflow. When 99% of the Fortune 500 are using AI to rank you, and the average job search has stretched to 6 or 7 months, you have to stop playing the experience game. You can't win that game against someone who has 20 years on you, but you can win the problem-solving game. Recruiters don't actually want a list of where you went to school. They want risk mitigation. They want proof that if they hire you, you can solve their specific pain point within 30 days. If you can show a micro portfolio, even just 3 high-impact case studies focused on ROI, you bypass the 26-week search cycle. I've seen people with zero industry experience leapfrog veterans simply because they could prove they knew how to use modern tools to get 5x the results. The market isn't crowded at the top of the skill bracket. It's only crowded at the bottom where everyone is fighting for the same entry-level scraps. So, here's your homework. I want you to open your resume right now and delete every bullet point that doesn't prove you can solve a problem. If it's a responsibility, kill it. If it's a result, keep it. You're going to build your one-page portfolio by the time you go to bed tonight. Pick 3 projects. For each one, follow this formula. What was the pain point? What was the machine or workflow you built to fix it? And what was the measurable outcome? Remember, 71% of leaders would rather hire a junior who understands AI orchestration than a veteran who doesn't. You can be that junior. You can target those roles in the $170,000 to $300,000 bracket. Because you're no longer selling your time, you're selling a system. This isn't easy. It takes effort to distill your worth into a single page of proof. But the people who figure this out, they're the ones getting the callbacks while everyone else is still shouting into the void of the ATS. The market isn't crowded for those who can prove they solve problems. Go from being an applicant to being the solution. I'll be here when you're ready for the next step.